of the day, y'all. How are we feeling? Are we absolutely pumped?
Yeah.
I don't want this to be the last session of the day. Huh?
We are ready.
Yes, I know. Are we ready in the chat? How are we feeling in the chat? How are we feeling the emojis? Let's hear it. Come on.
Can we hear the emojis?
Y'all, thank you so much for joining us at the HubSpot stage. We are at the last session of the day. We are here with some amazing HubSpot team members telling us tips for crushing your interview, y'all. We are about to tap in with an amazing panel. We have Reese Aremola, an emerging talent recruiter at HubSpot, Tiffany Luisa Ibok, a software engineer, and Bayo Onile Ere, a senior software engineer. They've put together an interview resource guide, so don't forget to check that out under the resources tab in AirMe. Y'all, give it all the way up for the HubSpot team. Pew, pew, pew,
pew. Thank you so much. That was quite of an introduction. So I guess we have to maintain that energy all the way through. So hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Thank you all so much for joining us. We love Color Stack. So today we're going to give you all some tips on how to crush your interview, and our engineers are going to give you some tips too on how to do well on the final round stage as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Before we actually dive into the PowerPoint, I would love if you all can take a second to scan this QR code. This is our check-in link. So it's very, very important for you to fill out the form. At the end of the session, my colleague Glory will be following up with you all individually. So be sure to scan, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So again, thank you. It sounds like we have a full house today. Thank you all so much for joining. We're so elated that you're interested in our opportunities at HubSpot. My name is Reese, and I'm a tech recruiter specializing in our co-op program alongside with our talented engineers, Olabayo and Tiffany. Do you all want to introduce yourselves real quick?
Yes. I could go first. My name is Olabayo Onilere, and I'm a backend engineer at HubSpot. I've been working at HubSpot for about 2 years, and I've been working on a tool called the Forecasting app. It's interesting, it's amazing. I've grown because I joined as an intern, and I've followed the growth path and recently became a senior software engineer. And I hope I can share the opportunities or these tools or the tips that has made me successful in my career. I'm going to hand over to my colleague Tiffany to also do our introduction.
Thank you. Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Tiffany. I'm a front-end software engineer at HubSpot as well. I'm working on help desk at the moment, and I've been here for about a year and a couple of months. And this was my first job out of college, and Reese was actually my recruiter. So this is a full circle moment for us. And yeah, it's been an amazing time, and I'm so happy to be able to be here to talk to you all, and I hope we have an amazing session.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. So just to give you all a quick idea of what we do here at HubSpot, we are a CRM company, which is a customer relationship management company. We provide technologies and solutions for businesses to grow better. And something that you'll notice is that we build marketing, sales, service, and website management products in our platform, all the way from the ground up to help businesses be supported. And we have a few, free trials if you wanted to, kind of get that hands-on experience of our product on our website. So feel free to do that. So yeah, again, today's session is going to be about helping you bring your best self to the interview process. So today we're going to cover the interview process. We're going to do a deep dive into each process, and then we'll do have some time for Q&A at the end. But before we dive in, I just want to make sure that everybody received the study guide. That is very, very important, and it's supplemental to our session. So if you haven't already, just contact one of the Color Stack leaders as well. So again, these are the 4 stages of our process. It's the application, the coding assessment, the recruiter phone interview, and the final round interview. The recruiter phone interview and the final round is actually what we're going to dive in deeper into. So yeah, let's get started. So our application process is pretty straightforward. The first step in the process is you will submit your application, which will include your resume. A cover letter is optional. And if you match what we're looking for, we will then send you a coding assessment, which is the second step of the process. And after you complete the coding assessment, and if you pass it, you'll be potentially moved forward to the recruiter phone interview, which is the third step in the process. Now, this interview is strictly behavioral. Again, we are going to dive in deep into the RPI stage later in the presentation. Lastly is the final round interview, which Tiffany and Olabayo will dive in deep with you guys on how to prepare for that. So today's deep dive is going to be specifically the recruiter phone interview and also the final technical interview with the engineering team. Okay. So now we are going to do a quick poll check. So if my color stack folks, if you guys can pull up that poll, that would be great. So we're going to see what you guys know about behavioral interviews. You probably learned some gems in your previous sessions. So so the question is, what does the behavioral response acronym STAR stand for? Yeah, so we should have some options here coming up. Let's see here. Should be 4 options. Let's see. Or you can type it in the chat. I don't know if those questions are going to pop up. Okay. All right, Joshua, seems like you're onto something there. Let's see. Okay. Abraham, it might be the right one. Okay. All right. I'm seeing a lot of D's. Great. Great. Yes, you all are correct. So situational, task, action, and results. You've probably heard of this in your earlier sessions, but again, it doesn't hurt to hear it again. We will do a deep dive here. So yeah, so here is a slide that I want to share with you all. It's about crushing your phone interview. This is very, very important. Yes, our interview process in general is very simple. It's a very straightforward process, but this is the portion where you want to make sure you bring your A game. And going into an interview in general can be very stressful and exciting at the same time. But the best way to crush your interview is to prepare thoroughly. So there's a quote that always sticks with me that my mom shared with me at a very young age is failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So when you are prepared, it will, alleviate your anxieties, and it'll be easier for you to exude the confidence that is already in you. So step 1, when it comes to preparing, is to do your research. I've interviewed hundreds, probably thousands at this point, of people in my career, and I can easily tell spot on if someone did not do their research. This sometimes tells me that they're probably not interested in the role. So when you're preparing, it's always best to do as much research as you can. I would go beyond researching the company on Wikipedia. I would do research on our company website, maybe look at some videos that we might have on our YouTube channel or blogs in general, and look into where the company is positioned in the market as well. Maybe look at some articles on, what the culture would be like, what is the company in the news for. These are all some really good examples on what you want to be researching for. One of the things that I love to hear when I'm interviewing candidates is that they took the initiative to reach out to somebody on LinkedIn to set up an informational call. That shows that you really, really want to work for this company and you want to get more information that are beyond what's on our website or on the World Wide Web. So just a recommendation. And then the next thing you want to do is make sure that you're reading that job description. Make sure you understand what it is that you're going to be doing. This is going to be key because you want to be able to leverage your past experiences from school or your internships and connect it to the job description. That way the recruiter can really understand, okay, what value can you bring to the company? I would also try and deviate away from talking about what a company can do for you. And again, really focus on that value proposition that you can bring to the company. Lastly, ask thoughtful questions. I always say this. I would refrain from asking questions that you can find on our website unless it is a follow-up question to something that you saw online. Companies receive an enormous amount of applications, and you have a little bit of time with the interviewer, so you really want to be intentional about asking good questions that's going to help you decide whether the company is a good fit for you. So yeah, again, my point being there is to just use the time that you have with the interviewer wisely. Now, step 2 is the interview questions. Majority of the time you are going to be asked a question, tell me about yourself. It might not be verbatim, but interviewers will ask this in some type of way. The tell me about yourself question is really not a time for you to share your personal life story or your memoir. Yes, they are all great. We all have our experiences that cultivate who we are, but you want to keep it simple. You want to keep it interesting, and you want to keep it concise. So who are you? What led you to your interests and your intentions for the role that you're applying to? And in my experience, the best way I like to answer the questions based on my experience in interviewing is I start off by talking about, first, how to say my name, where I'm from, my past experiences, and how did it lead me to the role that I'm applying to. So be unique. Don't be afraid to be your authentic self and to share your story. So for example, my story on how I got to recruiting is, after college, I started my career in marketing. I moved from into San Francisco, worked for a large marketing firm. But when I was there, I felt so lost and so confused on where my life was heading, just because I was not sure if what I was doing was what I'm supposed to be doing. I didn't feel like I was walking in my purpose. So I told myself that I don't want fresh graduates feeling this way. So I thought about careers that connected to my frustration and also my passion, which is early talent. And that is how my story, began in early talent recruiting. So really try and dive in deep. Why computer science? Why do you want to be a software engineer? Was there an issue that you're trying to solve? Something personal that makes you unique. Next is the behavioral questions. I guarantee you, again, you will see behavioral questions in every single interview in your career. So you want to use the STAR method. And again, we talked about what the STAR method stands for: situational, task, and action. And if you're still a little confused on how to use that acronym to structure your responses, there is a plethora of resources online that explains this as well. So for example, if you get a question about, tell me about a time you failed, you want to use STAR. So explain the situation, what was the task, what was the action, and what was the results that you took. I would really deviate away from talking about what your team did and more so what did you do. So this really helps you stay focused and keeps your responses concise and structured. And finally, follow up after the interview via email. This is the easiest way to stand out. There's no need to write a long essay on why this position is a good fit. Like maybe write some highlights that have stood out in your own past experiences and connect it back to the job at hand, like something that's going to help the interviewer remember you. So I would definitely try to try to send the interview 24 hours or within 24 hours after the interview. I'm sorry about that background noise. That was my dog. So again, just to reiterate, situational, task, action, result. This is all public information. If you want to take a screenshot of that as well, feel free to do that. Okay. All right. So the next thing is the final round interview, and this is with our engineering team. This is so important. It is 2 hours long, and it's a mixture of technical and behavioral based questions. So if you're interested in the back end interview, then you will be given a systems design question, which will last 1 hour, and then you'll also be given a coding question. Everybody that goes through our entry-level suite positions will have a coding question. So if you're interested in the front end, then you would be given a JavaScript question. So this is where I'm going to hand it off to Olabayo, who's going to talk about our back-end interview, specifically the systems design.
Hi, y'all. Thank you again, Reese. That was an amazing presentation. And I just want to kick off my own on the back end side of the interviews. I want to start off with preparation. First of all, I want to double down on what Reese mentioned, that a lot of these things or tips are out there on the internet. And the more you practice and the more you study, it's when it becomes more like natural to you. You are able to keep yourself from making mistakes and eventually excelling on these interviews. So my core focus is on the system design. And let's start with why do we have system design interviews? One thing is we want to see if the candidate can talk through, like the components required to accomplish some certain requirements. And also when we change, what do you call it, requirements, how the candidate is able to address those changes or even make maybe alternative solutions, meaning that you illustrate how you put together a system that will handle this type of requirement or whatever type of requirements you get. Now, the thing is, I just started to even delve into interviewing myself, and there's some tips that I definitely want to share today. First of all, when you go into an interview, first of all, you have to understand that you have to communicate as you are giving your solutions. You have to be able to communicate with your interviewer so he is aware of where you are at. Like when you're explaining a certain concept, he is able to either follow along and even drop prompts. And these are things that you listen to, because it's not, system design is not about like getting to the right solution. It's more about your thought process. Imagine you're talking to a junior engineer and you've been given like a project to design, and you are the one coming up with the architecture. So you need to be able to express and say, hey, this is how we are going to connect, because it's an end-to-end solution. It has to work at the end of the day. But we might look at the requirements first of all and say, hey, what are we building? So that's the first thing. I'm going into one of the tips for great answering or excelling on your design interviews. You go in without, for instance, when you jump into the answer and you start to draw out or sketch your illustrations or talk about different components, that's the wrong approach. What you have to ask yourself is, what are the requirements? And because at the end of the day, whatever you build or you compose or you narrate has to match the requirements. So the interviewer is actually listening to you. That, are you really paying attention? Like, for instance, I said build a service that streams music. I haven't gone beyond. I might be intentionally vague in some scenarios because I want to understand if you know that to address system interviews or design, to address designs or to start designs for any system design, you have to understand all the requirements. For instance, what is the use case? Do I need to think about scaling? Do I need to think about security? Then also, am I even user or customer centric? Like, hey, I know people are going to be accessing this streaming service, but is there a particular way they'll be accessing it? Like, particularly, like, hey, is it going to be on a mobile device or is it going to be on a desktop? Because if it's on a mobile device, it means, oh, your requirements are, I have to be able to support different resolutions. So things like that indicate to the interviewer that you are very thoughtful in your application or your solution. So the other thing is also to ask for feedback or listen to prompts. What prompts mean is that I'm listening to you, but maybe I'm not clear about your explanation. I'm like prompting you or asking you like a follow-up question. Some interviewers, or some interviewees rather, just ignore, or they really are not paying attention, and they talk and talk and talk and talk over the interviewer. And at this point, you lose a point because they're like red flags. So green flags are, one, you are thoughtful about before you even answer. You have enough time. No one rushes you. Like we tell you, we prefer thoughtful answers than you running through or speeding through. So take your time. As long as you're walking us through your thought process, then we'll follow along. So that's one of the things to look out for as well. Then again, when you come to this certain component, don't just rush into specific technologies. Be very, like, use the general term. Let me give you an example. You're talking about storing maybe data, text data, and you are talking about relational databases or NoSQL databases. Well, you now jump into naming the technologies like, hey, I'm going to use MySQL here. I'm going to use this, that here. The problem with that is that the interviewer will naturally want to probe, hey, how much knowledge does this person have? That's not bad anyway, but don't give enough. Like, start small, build out the basic requirement. Let your interviewer understand that you understand the components required to build this and that you are user-centric. So when that is addressed, and you can now follow up on maybe trade-offs you made. For instance, in this service, instead of using MySQL, I use, sorry, if I'm using a relational database, I use a node. So things like that are the things that will let you stand out. Because I think there's so much material when you watch videos online. You see a lot of example design questions. So it's everywhere. But I think where candidates have, or the issue we have, is that we don't have a systemic approach to answer these things. So let's imagine they ask you a question to design a music streaming service. If you have a systemic approach, it means that you will break it down into various steps, and you will start with one. For instance, find out the requirements. The second thing will be, now that I know the requirements, the functional and non-functional. You're talking to the interviewer, and these are the requirements. If you're not even sure of the requirements, you can probe, because that's the idea. To like, hey, I'm thinking users should be able to access on various devices. What do you think? That's very interesting. Say yes. So what have we done? The first step, we've gotten our requirements. The second step is, hey, let's define the data types that we'll store. We know that this streaming service you might store media files. You write it down. And the next thing is, hey, what APIs are going to be used on? What I mean by APIs, get users to pull users, get accounts, get streaming, or like you're streaming a song you like APIs. We now begin to write those things down. The next thing is, hey, at what scale are we going to be addressing each endpoint? So when you have all of this picture down, that impresses the candidate. So follow the steps I mentioned. First of all is requirement, functional and non-functional requirements. The second one is data types, APIs, and all of that. That's the second step. And the third step is now when you now begin to design, to walk through your design, to illustrate it. And because you have all of those steps answered, you can always keep referring to them. And based on that, the interviewer knows what to ask, because at the end of the day, we don't want it to be too vague. We want to understand where you are. So that's one of the things that I would suggest, having that framework. And when you're practicing the framework, like, how many minutes should I spend on each section? Don't do that. What you should do is master each section. After you master each section, then start improving how fast you are in each section. And to me, I believe, like, if you do this, because at the end of the day, if your role is entry level, it's not about like eventually solving the solution, the question rather, but your approach. Because I'm going to be your junior engineer, I'm going to be listening to you one day, and I want you to be able to guide us or to tell us exactly how you are going to approach each requirement. I don't want to. I know I've said a lot, and I know that the so I know there's a guide that we gave you, and go through it. Then one more thing I wanted to mention is different companies have different, I won't say requirements, but they have a different flavor of their design interview. Most of the time it takes 1 hour. Like, they follow the same standard, but you might know that it might be interesting to know that some companies would lean on a particular component because that's what they solve, or those are the type of challenges they see every day. So if you know, like, for instance, a X company is into maybe distributed file storage system, something, and my next thing is going to focus on the database or the data type aspect of or component of your answers or your solutions. So it's expecting to lean on areas that is solving that is, how will I say, is currently one of the tools that they use in their own their services rather. So learn all of that and continue to master this thing. Take your time. And what else would I say? One other thing I wanted to mention is that always be thoughtful. Always be thoughtful. Never assume. Ask questions and master and keep practicing. now I'm done with my section, and I hope I was able to touch a lot of areas that would help
Yeah,
you to excel. So I'll be handing over to Tiffany to walk through the coding interview.
Tiffany.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bio. That was really, really great gems. All right. So I do want us to be mindful of time. I think we have about 10 more minutes. So Tiffany, do you want to dive into the front end? So for the folks who want to apply for the front end, this might be the side you want to pay extra attention to.
Yeah. Thank you, Risi. Thank you, Bio. Yeah, so I was also asked to make a study guide, and I think that will be shared with you all later. But for now, I'm just going to summarize three main points that I think will help you in like tackling any front end technical interview. So if when you take as many interviews as I have, you realize that you only need like I feel like you need just these three main tips. And I think like mastering these skills can make a significant difference. And so the first one revolves around selecting the right data structure. I think it's careful to consider the nature of the problem at hand and choose an appropriate structure. So be it an array, a linked list, or something else, I think the right data structure can significantly impact the efficiency of your solution. So I just want to do a quick quiz, and I want to ask you, like, for instance, if I need like constant time access to elements, and I don't require frequent insertion or deletions, like, what would be the best data structure to use? So you can just put the answer in the chat real quick. Yeah. Yep. Yep. So hash map. Yep. 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 So I'm seeing a lot of hash maps. I'm seeing array. Yeah. Personally, I would choose an array. And I think on the other hand, a linked list may be more suitable when you have like when dynamic memory allocation and efficient insertions are essential. So once you have your data structure in place, the next step is to pick the right algorithm. And this involves deciding on the approach you'll take to manipulate the chosen data structure. So are you dealing with a sorting problem or perhaps a searching challenge? I think choosing the right algorithm demonstrates not only your understanding of various computational methods, but your ability to apply them strategically. So take time to analyze the problem and select the algorithm that best fits the scenario. This step is crucial in ensuring your solution is both effective and efficient. And the last point is effective communication. As Bio said, and as I will tell you, like there are many times in an interview where even if I wasn't able to solve the problem, just my ability to communicate the solution was what really helped me. Especially if you're coming into an entry level position, there may be situations where you're not able to answer the question, but if you're able to communicate, like I'm not able to solve this, but this is my thought process. I feel like that shows the interviewer that you're actively thinking about a solution and you do have the skills required to solve it if maybe you had more time. So it's not just about writing flawless code, it's also about articulating your thought process clearly. So when you're asked why you chose a specific data structure or algorithm, take the opportunity to showcase your technical proficiency and strategic problem solving skills. Explaining your choices demonstrates you're not just about writing code blindly, but you're actively thinking about the problem at a deeper level. And this gives the interviewer insight into your problem solving approach and highlights your ability to make informed decisions. Remember, communication is a key skill that can set you apart in the competitive world of coding interviews. So, to put these tips into context, let's consider a scenario. Suppose you're tasked with designing a system that efficiently searches for items in a massive database. You might opt for a hash table as your data structure for constant time lookups. Additionally, you could choose a hashing algorithm that minimizes collisions, ensuring the efficiency of your solution. During the interview, explain your thought process. Mention why a hash table was chosen over other structures and why a particular hashing algorithm was deemed suitable. I think this level of transparency not only showcases your technical abilities, but also provides the interviewer with valuable insights into your decision making process. In conclusion, excelling in coded interviews goes beyond writing functional code. It involves thoughtful consideration of data structures, sorry, I can't say that word, I don't know, like your choice of the algorithms and effective communications. And I think by mastering these tips, you will not only be able to solve problems efficiently, but also leave a lasting impression on interviewers. And a bonus tip I would give is to practice, 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 especially in JavaScript or whatever language you know your interview is going to be in. Getting familiar with the language syntax is crucial. Plus, you expose yourself to those like handy inbuilt functions that can speed up your problem solving game. And it's not just about finding the solution, it's about showcasing your mastery of the language. Thank you for your time and attention, and best of luck in your coding interviews. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the Q&A portion. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Tiffany. Very, very, those were great gems for sure. All right. So this is the last slide. You know, you now finish your interview. How do you decide on best offers? How do you deal with rejection? So when it comes to offers, you really want to make sure that you're doing your research, gathering insights from current employees. And this is also the best time to utilize your alumni network, family, LinkedIn, anyone that is connected, or anybody that can get you connected with the right person. So ask those tough questions too. You know, don't be afraid to ask about diversity and belonging. That's so important to us at HubSpot, and I'm sure it's important to you as well. And as far as rejection, you know, embrace it. Is part of the process. Have a healthy relationship with rejection and know that it is sometimes just a way to redirect you to something better. I've applied to hundreds of jobs, my career, we all have, and rejection is very common. And as far as in feedback, I can't speak for other companies, but we give feedback if you make it to the final round and you don't make it. We give thorough feedback on why we made the decision that we made. So use that feedback to help you become better in your job search and your job process in general. I want to quickly talk about reneges because this is something that has happened in the past. It's not something that we see all the time, but basically reneging is basically accepting an offer and then turning around and saying, oh, you know, I got a position somewhere else, I'm going to go with that option. This is strongly discouraged. We do notate that in your profile. So I want to strongly advise that, you know, you don't renege. It's always best to be honest and be upfront with your recruiters in the beginning. Even in the beginning of the process, we always ask if you're interviewing with other people, which I think you all should be honest about it for sure. And if you have a conflict with deadlines, ask for extensions if you can. Again, I would just strongly advise reneging because it does negatively impact our headcount, and it's just not a good look at all. So so I think that is about it. I think we have about 4 minutes left for questions. I know we have a hard stop, so and I know some people have been adding some questions in the chat. So What is your favorite ending question in an interview? Oh, I love that question. I love when people ask me, like challenges at HubSpot, or like my favorite part about HubSpot and working. Those tend to be questions I like to ask or to answer. And of course, that varies from different recruiters. So any questions? I'm going to try and look at, okay. How can a candidate distinguish themselves, and what strategies are effective in handling interview pressure? The best way to distinguish yourself is to really be authentic to who you are, share your story, be vulnerable. You don't want to, try and fit into a shoe that doesn't fit, if that makes sense. So really think about what makes you you, and be honest with yourself. What strategies are effective in handling interview strategy? I think the best strategy is preparing, practicing in the mirror. I used to do that all the time. I would practice in the interview or practice in the mirror. I would practice with my peers or people from career services. And I mean, overall, I just try not to be fake, just be honest with who you are and why you want to work for HubSpot. That is the best way to handle pressure. I hope that answered that question. But again, the best way is to prepare and bring your A game. All right. I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn. I'm going to drop my link. I think I think that concludes everything, unless we have time for another question. No? Okay. All right.
Oh, give it up for our HubSpot speakers. I want to see all that love in the chat. I want to hear the emojis go crazy. All right. Thank you so much to all of our speakers. That was so raw and real. So make sure y'all are taking all of these notes and putting it to work. Oh, y'all. I don't want to say it, but yes, that's the end of our summit, our sessions together. We have a juicy career fair. Before that, we're going to do a bunch of other stuff. So we don't have to say goodbye just yet. In the meantime, if you have your phone out, make sure to follow me, Michelle Adana, as well as follow ColorStack at colorstack.org on Instagram so you can stay updated with all the amazing programming they have and all the silly stuff I put out. Why not? Y'all, I'm just days like this just so I want to obviously ask, what was your favorite session of the day? What was your favorite part of the day? What is a key takeaway? Tell me. I'm gonna read it. Let me see. Okay. Bethany says Reddit. Okay. Olu says Reddit. Love it. Love it. We love Reddit. We're loving Jane Street. We loving, absolutely loving HubSpot. Yes. Everyone. Okay. What? Cybersecurity, work, Jane Street, all of them. Reddit. Yes. Thank you. Okay. HubSpot. Okay. Jane Street. Okay. Honestly, yes. Okay. Work. Okay. It's coming really fast. Okay. Reddit. Okay. Everyone did so amazing today. What are some gems that we heard? What are some gems that we are walking away with? I know there was a lot of authenticity. Don't be fake, because they could smell it. They could smell it, actually. Sell yourself, practice, advocate for yourself. Ruth says interview tips. Don't be faking the interviews. Harris says 2 + 2 = 4. -1, that's quick maths. Okay. Absolutely, that is. All right. Interview the interviewer. Communicate your thought process. Design thinking. Follow up. Quick system design. Interview insight. Take your time. Loving it. We don't have to be perfect. Because they all know that you're going to this to this internship to continue to learn, to continue to be a sponge and soak up all this amazing knowledge. And you guys are literally the future, and I'm so proud of you. I'm gonna hit up one of yous one day to figure out why the AI keeps looking at me in the eye. You know what I'm saying? So congratulations. Y'all are amazing what you're doing, and you really are the future. And I'm really hoping the best for you. I'm really hoping that y'all are the next CEOs. Y'all are the next COOs and CMOs and autos and all the C's. You guys are in a really, really great place. You're here with ColorStack. You chose to come here today on your Friday and be here during the Stacked Up Summit. That's more than 300 only members came here. You chose to do this for yourself today. You chose to show up for yourself, your career, your future today. So shout out to you. Pat on the back to you. Because even though you might be stressed out about what the next step is, you're here today and you're pushing through. You're showing up for yourself. You're showing up for your community. You did that. Okay? We're stacking up. You know what I'm saying? I'm so proud of y'all. No, and I'm genuinely so excited to see, all the amazing results that they always post on Instagram about their members. Like, oh, I got an internship here. I got an internship there. I just did it. Amazing. I look at that and I'm like, oh, do I want to go into tech? No, I'm a comedian for a reason. But I'm so proud of y'all. You're literally doing amazing. So now is the time you guys are probably all been waiting for. We're going to announce the raffle winners. Let's get a virtual drum roll, please. And let's bring up the presentation. Alrighty. All right. Congratulations to Charisma, Jorge, Matthew, Ronasia, Theodore, Dubem, Oluwajuwan, Hebron, Angel, Diego. Shout out to you. Remember, you must have stayed for all sessions to be eligible. And if you're not here right now, we have a wait list of winners. If these folks are not here, then we have a wait list of folks that are here. So shout out to all these amazing people. Y'all were on your game today. The Color Stack team will be reaching out to you. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. $200 Amazon gift card. Hello? I'm getting a new mattress. Like, I don't even know what $200 buys anymore, but I'm buying a new house on Amazon. Let's go. Okay, a Chromebook. Let's go. A Kindle. Hello, we're reading. We're reading. A Fitbit. I'm fit. You know, I'm a bit fit. Okay, love that. Someone said a Barbie house. LOL. Also, remember that we have Color Stack merch. Y'all, it's so, I literally said, and yes, I'm gonna say it to the people now. I said we have it in black, the little crew neck, as well as we have it in this delicious green. We need a pink. We need a pink. And that's not gendered. That's not gendered. That's just because pink is cute. Pink is cute. Pink is real cute. Y'all, thank you so much. Wait, I just want to address, like someone said, imagine her in an interview. First of all, didn't I say I used to be in business back in the day? I used to be on business. Watch. Hi. No, I'm so excited to be here speaking with you and your team. I'm so interested in investment banking, and I really want to know about leverage buyouts. So when we think about, right? Ooh, right? She could do it all. So in an interview, the girl could play. Just know that. Follow me on Instagram, Michelle Adana. Follow ColorStack.org, okay? The accent changed. Okay. Let's all look at each other in the eye. Let's not act like there's no code switch here. Come on now. Come on, you know how to play the game. That's the authentic me, just at the workplace. At a different type of workplace. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you have to know. She went from New York to Pennsylvania. Who ate me up when they had said that? Who said that? Who has said that? Who has said that? No, I want to find the person. Who said that? Who said that? Okay, I can't find it. You guys are writing too fast. Yes, so I got that thing. I mean, interviewing is like acting. Anyways, we'll get into that another day, y'all. If you aren't tapped into Fan Fridays, make sure you tap in, because I'm the host of those too, and we have a lot of fun every single month. Just getting you your resources, getting you your toolboxes, getting you absolutely everything you need to be like this beautiful ribbon of an overall well-rounded, delicious candidate. So absolutely tap in to more of Color Stack programming. Y'all, the moment y'all been waiting for, we have the career fair coming up. So these companies are so excited to meet you. Hopefully you get in there, you have a notebook, you have your notes, you have your questions, and you're excited to get in there and take this opportunity. You know what I'm saying? This is such a great time to put your questions out there. You saw something on the company's website, ask that question. What was that thing that they had said in their mission statement? What was that thing on their company Instagram about what the interns were doing? Ask them the questions, because they, as you heard today, they want to know that you did your research, that you actually want the job, and that you are really excited for it. All right, y'all. So before you head to the career fair, a few reminders. Please keep your cameras on the entire time so that they can see you smiling and being super excited. Some companies will be running presentations, so check each booth description to see the presentation schedule. Keep an eye out for our post-summit survey. Please take 2 to 3 minutes to fill it out. We take your feedback very seriously. If there's anything you want to see in the next one, if there's anything you don't want to see in the next one, let us know, because that's the way we can just make this all better for you and your experience. Don't forget to tag us in your stories and your post on IG using colorstack.org, and use the hashtag stacked up summit or hashtag colorstack. Y'all, give a round of applause to yourselves. It was so amazing to be here with y'all. Now I want you to go into the world, go into the career fair and have so much fun. Make sure to follow me, Michelle Adana. Make sure to follow Colorstack at colorstack.org and have an amazing time. Get your money up. Have an amazing year. You guys are going. You guys are doing it. I'm so proud of you. You're on your way. And I will see you at the next Fam Friday. Bye. Fam Friday. Fam Friday. Stacked up summit. 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 Let's go to the career fair. Let's go to the career fair. Bye. Have fun. You got your resume out? Don't be shy. Go. Have fun.